had to wait on a plane.
I don't disagree. So why did your candidate make up the video? That's so irresponsible. Wait a minute. It's not a mistake if you go into full detail. He went into detail and said that it was a top secret video. Did he not say this?
Tara, I know you like to filibuster. I know you like to filibuster.
You've got to be kidding me.
But you've got to let me speak.
That because you won't acknowledge that your candidate flat out lied about that. Answer the question I asked you.
Will you let me speak?
Go right ahead.
Thank you very much.
Explain to me why he went into detail, how that was a mistake.
Thank you for letting me speak.
Go for it.
So he saw a video that he thought was the video. It was B-roll instead. He made a mistake. You got to let me finish. You've got to let me finish.
Go ahead.
So he went on the rest of the day talking about this issue as he should have. He made a mistake, yes, but you like to analyze every syllable that he says.
Because he's running for president. When you're, if he did that as president of the United States, that would be that would cause a major problem. And where are his foreign policy advisors? That's right. I forgot. He gets it from the shows, which is what happened today.
He made a mistake. I know you like to focus on the 5 words that came out of his mouth that were a mistake, but every other word that came out of his mouth was huge.
I'd like to see the NRA come out and say that they agree exactly with what Donald Trump said. I'd be curious to see that, because Donald Trump plays loose with words all the time. Words matter. Contrary to what Kaylee may think, that we are parsing every single word, and that's a problem, and whining about that. Well, syllables or words, whatever. This is not a game. And I would think that you would want to expect excellence from the President of the United States, not mediocrity. And that's what we get out of Donald Trump all the time. You're damn right we parse every single word. Let me finish, because you talked all day.
Okay, Kaylee,
you're damn right we expect Donald Trump to be accurate in what he says, and that we're going to criticize what he says, because he's running for the presidency and words matter. That's number one. Number two, feigned outrage, that's not what that is. And as never Trump people who look at Donald Trump as a disgrace, we're not liberals. There's nothing liberal about me, number one. I've never supported someone who's pro-choice like Donald Trump. I've never given money to Democrats like Donald Trump. I've worked on nothing but conservative values and everything, unlike Donald Trump. And people like you consider to cast aspersions on people like me who are never Trump. I think it's despicable, because you're the hypocrites, not us.
Okay, let me give Kaylee a chance to respond.
Maybe Democrats and some of my colleagues were unaware that there were means you could take when you appoint liberal judges, that the NRA, it's not violence he was advocating. You can file amicus briefs. You can get courts to get cases to
That's not what he said.
Because you see things through the lens of the Democrats.
If you would have listened to the rest of that clip, he said it would be a horrible day. What was he meaning? You've got Roger Stone running out there, who's his buddy, going out there saying that the system is rigged and that there'll be revolution and blood in the streets because the election is rigged. All these dogs about that. All these dogs. Don't Tara me. Go read it. It's your buddy Roger Stone who supports Trump.
David, go ahead.
First of all, one of the most basic axioms in politics is if you're explaining, you're losing. That's number one. Number two, Donald Trump clearly had a double entendre going on there with a wink and a nod, and as David Gergen used the term, dog whistle, with implying something that he knew, I better walk that back a little bit, because if you listen to what he said 2 seconds after he said that, he said, oh, and that would be a horrible day. Why would he have to say that if he didn't mean, that could be taken in a way that was, not exactly above board? Thirdly, in all those other instances, the Secret Service was not involved. I'm sorry, but unless you're claiming that the Secret Service are a bunch of morons, they interpreted it in a way enough that they had to get involved. So stop insulting our intelligence, that nobody, we're all a bunch of crazies, that it could have been interpreted in a certain way. The former head of the CIA interpreted it that way. A lot of other people in positions that are way more involved in these kinds of things than you or I interpreted it that way.
Hang on.
And so therefore,
What we're going to do is
the fact that you could even interpret it that way required an explanation.
Maybe you don't think it's a horrible day when liberal justices are appointed, but Donald
That's not what he said.
What we're going to do now, is we're going to take a break. We're going to take a break. We're going to take a break. We're going to hydrate.
And you can't have a discussion when liberals like you completely take him out of context. You just said, let's listen to what you just said. And this, by the way, is why the crowd, this is why the crowd yells lock them. This is why the crowd yells lock them up. Because when you say Donald Trump said he suggested Second Amendment folks take arms up, he never said that. In liberal world, he said that. In a real world,
no, that's not liberal world. Once again, wait a minute, I'm a liberal. I think that's hilarious.
Richard first. Because listen, I mean, it's not just that one comment. I mean, we don't have to argue about everything, right? I mean, it's not just that one comment.
You're a lawyer. You understand detail and nuance, and that's beneath you.
I do. And you're a lawyer, and you understand logic.
Tara, please.
Richard first, Tara.
So, I mean, I think people can take from it what they want, right? But it's
you can't change his words.
It's the,
Kelly, let him finish.
It's the entire pattern I'm talking about. You know, I mean, I think it's the entire pattern of the way he wants to conduct this campaign, as if it were a Las Vegas entertainment show.
Sarah,
and that is what is really going to be troubling as we get into the fall.
You know, look. The parts about Obama and ISIS are legitimate points of discussion. However, encouraging people to say lock up the media is very disturbing. And this is not the first time that he's used the media as part of his sounding board and trying to demonize the media at First Amendment. This is also the same person who said that he wanted to loosen up libel laws so that it could sue the media. I mean, that's the First Amendment. That's a First Amendment. That's a First Amendment right that I'm sure someone that has authoritarian tendencies like Donald Trump does would like. Now, to address the idea of me being a liberal, which is about the fourth time you've tried that little tactic, Haley, and I think it's hilarious and pathetic, actually, because if you had a resume like mine, you actually know what a conservative was. And if you knew what conservatism was, you wouldn't be supporting Donald Trump. This is someone, you know, again, as a liberal, that means you would give money to someone like Hillary Clinton, Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, liberals. That's what Donald Trump did. A liberal is someone who's pro-choice, who is supportive of pro-choice issues, like Donald Trump has been. A liberal is also someone who goes around and does things that Donald Trump has done his entire life, like register as one, which I've never done. So stop it with the liberal stuff. Stop it with the liberal stuff. And everyone who doesn't support Donald Trump is not a liberal. So it's insulting to the millions of conservatives who actually appreciate the Constitution.
I know you're very sensitive about your conservative credentials.
No, I'm not sensitive. Be accurate. Be accurate. Don't insult me and expect me not to come back at it.
Fact check you. I know you didn't. I know you didn't go to law school.
No, I didn't need to go to law school.
Talking about opening libel laws, that's something Justice Scalia supported.
And he did not use that as a punitive tactic.
I listened to your whole soliloquy, so you have to allow me to respond.
Quickly.
You interrupted.
Scalia was for opening libel laws, and I
not in the context that Donald Trump was.
So guys, what we're going to do is this. What we're going to do is this. We're going to turn this back. We're going to turn this back. We're going to turn this back.
You need to separate them in future.
We're going to turn this back, counsel, to Donald Trump, what he said tonight in the presidential campaign that's going on in 2016. Philip Bump, again, back to the statements that Donald Trump
that is not true.
That is exactly what happened.
No, he asked him. I watched it. After Donald Trump, I watched it, and actually, it brought me to tears because I thought to myself, here is a perfect example of what this country stands for. This is an immigrant family that has a hero son that's assimilated to this country, who is actually speaking their minds, which you're allowed to do in America still, and saying, you know what, Mr. Trump, have you actually read this Constitution? Because some of the things that Donald Trump says are awfully suspect of the Constitution. I've never heard Donald Trump talk about liberty and freedom and the Constitution. As a matter of fact, he thinks there's 12 articles in the Constitution. It was perfectly valid for the Khan family, after Donald Trump proposed a ban on all Muslims, for them to say, look at us, what are you doing? And we represent what America should be. There's nothing wrong with that. And if Donald Trump can't handle that, then Mr. Big Bad Billionaire Bully from New York, then he needs to audition for another job, because he's the presidency of the United States.
We got to take another break. A lot more to talk about with the panel ahead, including Donald Trump's remarks about Russia, Vladimir Putin in Ukraine, and the question it raises about his knowledge safely. And that rally was canceled. And you showed the footage many times of the individuals who attended that rally. Donald Trump had that rally booked.
What does that have to do with that black community?
Look, that is a black community. He went to the heart of Chicago to go and give a speech to the University of Chicago in a campus which is predominantly African American to make that argument. And you know what happened? The campus was overrun and it was not a safe environment.
That's what happened.
Corey and Kaylee, would you acknowledge that black communities all over the country are still not monolithic? So if he tried to do the same thing in Cleveland, wouldn't necessarily happen.
Your argument is to go there.
Wouldn't necessarily happen.
He tried to go to Chicago and wasn't allowed to go and make a speech.
So go to Houston.
You know what he did?
Go to Dallas.
You know what he did today?
Go to Los Angeles.
That's 31% African American. And know what you're talking about? You're not talking about actually the details of what he's talking about. You're talking about where he's giving the presentation, which is completely egregious. So when he tries to go and give it and can't because of the chaos.
I just tried to tell you it's not monolithic. And
I understand. So whose fault is it that particular event in Chicago was completely destroyed?
It's not all black people's fault.
I didn't say it was.
We have to be honest about the venue at the University of Chicago. It was not go there to speak to an audience of black folks there. It was to go to a predominantly white audience, just like before.
That audience is not white.
Yes, it was.
That event is open to everybody.
Okay, you know what? Everything's open to everybody.
So there were no African Americans inside that event? Of course,
as it was not catered to that. That is a complete an excuse for blaming it on the venue and what happened in Chicago. That's number one. Number two, the point that was made, it's a very simple one. If you want to speak to women, or you want to speak to, if you wanted to speak to a group of single mothers, you're not going to go and speak to a group of white business executives about an issue that affects single mothers. Tone matters. The venue absolutely does matter.
Has the highest murder rate in the country amongst African American people, and that's not good enough.
No, it's not good enough because then why didn't he go to the Urban League where there's actual black business owners that affect what's going on?
He went to the university that holds a larger audience.
Explain that to me. Explain why that makes sense.
Let me ask this. Corey, what are his policy prescriptions for solving for the murder rate in Chicago? Because I haven't heard him address
it. Look, he's met with the Chicago Police Department. What they said is let us do our jobs, empower us to go do our jobs. That means give us the tools to make sure that we can have more people on the street, make sure we have the resources necessary to go and make sure we're stopping the crime. We know who the criminals are. Let me ask you a question. What has Barack Obama done to make the city of Chicago safer? What has Hillary Clinton done? What has Hillary Clinton done?
My question, wait, Maria, my question, because this is my issue. People only start caring about Black lives when it's for political fodder. I have not heard Donald Trump before now. Yes, he's called people who look like me thugs. He's called Michael Brown and Trayvon Martin and Jordan Davis thugs. So, and on our side, we're championing and lifting up these mothers who are heroes to us, pillars of strength.
Donald Trump was the first person in the 1990s when he opened up a club in Florida to allow blacks and Jews.
That was after the damn housing discrimination cases, Corey.
In federal court to allow African Americans.
Corey, that was to make up for the housing discrimination. No, wait, it's not. You guys are not going to hold him out like he's Martin Luther King.
What has Hillary Clinton done?
Do you really want to go down this road?
Of course she did. She sent classified emails to people who shouldn't have had it.
Corey, you guys are off on so many different tangents. You would lose a debate competition because you want to sit
there. Wait. Okay.
About the Mar-a-Lago thing.
One at a time. Tara.
It's crazy. I'm really sick and tired of the Mar-a-Lago thing as a talking point. The reason why Donald Trump sued was because he was trying to make changes at that club, and the Palm Beach community wasn't happy with him because he was new money there, and they found him ostentatious and obnoxious. So he used the black and Jewish thing at that club as leverage to get what he wanted in that community. It was not out of the goodness of his own heart.
A federal judge
so it was for his own purposes. It was for a selfish reason. It was not out of the goodness of his own heart.
Corey, respond, and then we got to take a break.
The federal judge absolutely African Americans and Jews should be allowed into this club unequivocally. He sued to allow them to get into his club.
After he got
he needed to get what he wanted. Well, what else has Donald Trump done?
An African American federal judge sided with Donald Trump because he was being discriminated against.
We're going to take a break. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back. We'll continue this discussion.